It just so happened that my parents live in the totality area of the 2024 eclipse. So, of course, the Foxes all trekked up to visit with family, even though the weather forecast predicted cloudy skies. On the day of the eclipse, we packed up our fashionable eclipse sunglasses and a picnic lunch. We drove a couple of miles to a large open field with access to picnic tables and bathrooms. Then we waited. Turned out it was a gorgeous day, and no clouds obstructed our view. We could even see a couple of solar flares around the edges during the 2.5 minutes of total eclipse.
Here's the thing. Lots of people lived or traveled to a totality area. One estimate I saw stated up to 40 million people. But most of them didn't see the stunning event that we saw. They might have had their eclipse glasses on and their cameras pointed to the sky or their telescopes pointed in the right direction, but clouds obstructed their view. Does that mean it didn't happen?
Obviously not. The eclipse happened whether they saw it or not. The moon orbits around the earth orbits around the sun, and every once in a while they line up to block each other. Whether you believe it or not, whether you see it or not.
Today's reflection is that God is always working, and He's doing amazing things too, whether or not we see or acknowledge them. John 5 tells about Jewish leaders fussing at Jesus because He healed someone on the Sabbath. But Jesus replied, "My Father is always working, and so am I." The gap between the Old Testament and Jesus' birth was about 400 years. The people call it the silent years. But Jesus reminded these people that God was working throughout those 400 years, every day of the week, every hour of the day.
He's working today in the hearts and minds of His people. He's working in me and you. Sometimes it feels like God has left us to do life on our own. But I want to remind you, that's not true. My Father is always working, and so am I.
Our next video will reflect on the fact that even though we can't see exactly what He's doing, there will always be evidence. Thanks for trekking with the Foxes.